Yeah.
Okay, the other one's not as bad.
Hot damn. Here we go again. Good morning, motherfucker. Alright, how you guys doing today? Today we are here to review the Smith Wesson SD40 VE. If you don't know, obviously you don't, because this is my very first video. You shouldn't know, but this is my very first handgun. So we're gonna be going over it, my experiences with it, pros and cons, yada yada yada. First off, just double check and show you guys that the magazine is not in the weapon. There's nothing in the chamber. This gun is cleared and safe. Cleared and safe. Anyway, starting right into it. It's a Smith & Wesson, obviously, SD40 VE. The SD meaning self-defense. This is a self-defense handgun. It was crafted directly for the purpose of self-defense and home defense. We'll get into what that means shortly in a second. 40 for 40 caliber. They also have this in 9mm. I chose 40 caliber because heavier hitting bullet, moving slower speed, so somewhat less penetrating power than 9mm, and especially some of the other handgun rounds that are moving faster. And also law enforcement uses it, military uses it. It's a good round. It's heavy hitting, and then like I said, less penetrating power, so if I'm using the right rounds, I don't have to worry as much about it going through walls and something if I had to use it in a home defense situation. VE is value enhanced. Where am I pointing? Oh, there you go. VE for value enhanced. Because this gun is around $350, I picked mine up for $389 after tax, because one, it is new, two, it is a high vis edition. So it comes with these high vis fiber optic sights, which it has the 2 red rear posts and the 1 green front post. That's fiber optic, so as long as there's ambient light, these will be semi-mildly illuminated, which will kind of help with target acquisition, and plus it just looks cool, and I'm one of those tactical guys that like things for the look as well as function. So, you know, I'm just trying to be Tomb Raider, if we're gonna be honest here. That's why I have this cheap rinky-dink A tactical laser on it. It's like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon. Just like having a green laser for a 2-tone pistol. It's a classic movie / video game style, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm into that. I don't care. Talk shit, whatever. I'm me. Go f yourself. So I'll probably be replacing this with the actual quality flashlight, like a OLight I was looking at pretty soon. Might end up getting one of those. I've seen this gun for as cheap as $2.99 online. This is a very popular first handgun, so you can definitely find these used for pretty cheap, maybe $300, $320. I don't know if they go under that. If so, let me know in the comments, let everyone else know. But this is, so far, to sum it up pretty short, this is a great handgun. So like I was saying with the self-defense, how this gun was tuned for self-defense. It is made for home defense. It is made to be used as a defensive tool. With that, it has a heavier trigger. So it has an 8-pound trigger, which isn't as heavy as some other handguns that are out there, but the grittiness of this trigger as well, it's not as smooth as some of the higher end. So basically, this trigger feels like a heavy, kind of gritty, unpredictable trigger. Like, it took me the longest time shooting this thing to even figure out when the fuck it was gonna go off. Like, I'd be squeezing on it, and it would just be squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and it would feel like the round should have shot 3 times already, and I'm still over here pulling. So it took a while to get used to that. Like, there was even a point where I was gonna just sell the gun and get rid of it to find something else, but thankfully I kept training with it and got used to it. And now that I've gotten used to it, gotten used to the trigger, gotten the correct way to position and hold my hands and what feels comfortable with me, now this gun shoots like a dream. I'm starting to get more and more accurate with it, and that's just a testament to how training with your firearm is. No matter what you get, no matter how much money you put into it, if you don't train with it, you're gonna get like the worst results. So yeah, I mean, it takes a while to get used to, especially if you're a new firearm owner, if you're new to guns, if you're new to handguns. It might take a little bit to get used to, but trust me, it's worth it. So if you can bear with the training, bear with putting some rounds through it, going to the range, going out, shooting as much as you can, getting used to that, breaking the trigger in, breaking the gun in, it will definitely pay off because this thing shoots like a champ. So this gun, out of the box, came with 2 magazines. You see I got one with rounds in it. It's my self-defense. It's my self-defense magazine. It also came with this box that ironically, unexpectedly says Smith Wesson on it. Who would have thought? What's inside the box? Why, nothing now. But there was a gun, 2 magazines, a barrel lock, and instruction manuals. So that's what you can expect. Moving on. This gun, little basic specs, run by real quick. This gun's about 7 inches long overall length. The barrel is, I believe, 4.5 inches. The safety features, there is no manual safety on this gun. There's just a couple safety features. Some are actually California specific. I've noticed in some of the other videos of this gun that there are some features that are different compared to the California one. So I unfortunately live in California, so like one of the main features is loaded chamber indicator. This I don't think is just limited to California. They have this in other states and everything too. But this one, part of the reason why I paid more was for the high vis edition with the sights and also this loaded chamber indicator. There's usually either it's just a regular slide, no loaded chamber indicator, or there's a little circle cut out right into this section that basically lets you see the little glimmer of a round in the round casing in the chamber, so you can see if there's a little reflection or a little light shimmering in there, then there's something in the chamber. This one of the things that I really like, it has a loaded chamber bar, so this bar actually pops up. If you guys can see that, it lifts up when there's a round in there. It has a little red paint on both of the sides, so there's that. So very quick visual indicator, you barely have to take a glance at it and you can see that it's loaded. On top of that, see how I could rack the slide. Trigger's not doing anything, it's just being loud and clicky. Put the magazine in, trigger goes off. Rack the slide again, take the magazine out, nothing. So the trigger cannot engage without the magazine in it. I don't know how many other guns are like that. I don't know if that's only a California thing, but my Sig Sauer isn't like that. It can engage even when the magazine's out. So that's something that's kind of, I had to get used to, and definitely take extra care when I deal with that firearm because the safety features are not the same. And that's one thing you got to look at too. Upon different firearms, not everything's going to be the same. A lot of things are going to be different, even if they look the same. So it's always good to get to know your firearm personally. Get learned, my dudes, is basically the theme here. But yeah, so we'll, that about covers it for all the quick specs and the first thoughts and everything. We'll go out to the range, get into the action, the shooting, the testosterone, the noises and clicking and clacking that everyone has come to love and enjoy. Get the slow motion shots and the video, the gun range montages going off. And after that, we'll come back for our final thoughts, my reviews, pros and cons, my last little thoughts on the gun, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So without further ado, let's get to the meat of the video, and see you guys when you come back up. Peace. Here we are out on the range on this very cold and wet, gloomy day. So we're out here gonna be shooting some more shots with the Smith & Wesson. Let you guys see the gun in action. Today we have I got some Sig Sauer 180 grain full metal jacket that I will be shooting first, and then we also have some Winchester Train and Defend rounds that I'll be testing out later on. First 5 rounds will be the Sig Sauer 180 grain FMJ. Yep. Then after that, we will switch over to the other stuff. Let's go ahead and get into it. Eyes on. Some of the Federal 180 grain, failure to feed, kind of gets stuck and jammed in there. It could have been because this gun was still, you know, not as broken in yet. But compared to that, this Winchester so far has run smoothly. We'll try a couple more magazines, see how this gun fires, see how the ammo works with the weapon, and then, yeah, we'll get on to some shooting. Accidentally knocked the slide release back up. I'm an idiot, no big deal. Woo, baby! With the 40 caliber, it's mostly about recoil control. I was definitely healing the gun a lot, so right before I pulled the trigger, I'd end up squeezing down or off to the right. So that's just something about, you know, training with your gun. But not too bad, especially once you get the use of it, once you get the use of controlling it. It's definitely a good firearm. So we'll go back up top. I'll give you my last thoughts, the pros and cons, and then we'll go from there. All right, see you. And back at it again. Alright, we're back from the range. I'm still up here in my studio at 12 o'clock at night on Friday, and I am tired, so I look like shit, forgive me. But you've seen all the cool action shots of me shooting some slow shots, showing you how the gun functions, me shooting a little bit faster paced, some nice slow-mo shots thrown in there, whatever. So you guys got to see the gun in action. Now my final thoughts on it, there's some things that are worth mentioning as far as ammo wise that I want to talk about. So I've shot different types of ammo. I've shot Aguila 40 Smith Wesson 180 grain. I've shot Sig Sauer Performance Elite Performance 180 grain full metal jacket. Oh, I shot mostly full metal jacket because it's the most available. So I like to practice with that most available round. Later on, I'll do some more testing with the home or self-defense rounds, like the hollow points and different brands of that. But mainly, I've been shooting full metal jackets. So I've done Aguila, done Sig Sauer Elite Performance, I've done Federal. There's Winchester Train and Defend, which I've recently started using. 2 out of those 4 have worked really good for me. The 6 Hour Elite Performance, right now that's my go-to. It's a little bit more expensive ammo. I think this is 20 bucks and up where I am. I think the cheapest I've seen this for online is about 17 bucks. This stuff is really good. It's made by 6 Hour, very trusted brand, very well-known brand obviously, and I've never had a single malfunction with any of these rounds. Nothing besides me shooting the gun and accidentally knocking the slide release. So that's a thing that I kept doing, and I was thinking it was the ammo, but it would be when I would fire. It's hard to show you guys, but I would end up firing the gun, and after I fired the gun, the recoil, while I was holding it, my thumb would knock the slide release up, and basically as the slide was going back, I would end up knocking it and making it catch the slide back open. So there was a couple of big idiot moments like that for me, but I caught on to it later on. But yeah, besides that, I've never had any issue with this. This runs smooth as butter in my firearm, and the self-defense version, the hollow tips of 6 Hour Elite Performance, are amazing. They shoot really smooth, super, no problems at all, and they do the job really nice. Never have any problems, so this is definitely a go-to for me personally. This thing has run, or these rounds have run perfect in this gun so far to date, and I've put about maybe 500 of these rounds through this gun, and never a single problem so far. Federal, I've had problems. I shot 180 grain full metal jacket and 165 grain full metal jacket. The 180 grain, I would have misfires. It would end up jamming. The round would kind of angle itself and nose it and wedge it into the inside of the barrel, and right on the lip inside of the barrel it would end up getting stuck. I don't know if maybe it wasn't enough powder in those types of rounds to get the slide moving back with enough force to carry or knock it back into battery or knock it into the correct position or what, but it was doing it like at least twice a magazine, or every other magazine it would end up doing it. The 165 grain didn't really do it as much, but it would still be an issue. The Aguila ammo that I shot, at least for this gun, I don't know if it was just this box or whatever, but every single round in this jammed, and it was terrible. Like, I thought that this would be a good brand. I've seen it on a lot of other PewTuber channels, them using a lot of Aguila ammo. For this particular gun, maybe for this particular caliber, no. At least from my experience. It might work fine in your gun. It might work fine if this is 9mm, it might run perfectly smooth. But from my experience and me testing it out, I cannot recommend this. But stories vary, guns vary, ammo varies. So just best thing to do is get some different ammo, experiment, take each thing out, and see what ammo works for your gun. No matter what gun it is, don't assume that one type of ammo is going to work perfectly for all your guns. Always test out your ammo across the board, test different brands, every single gun you have. That way you can see what works and what doesn't, because some guns like certain types of ammo, certain amounts of powder, certain weights to them. Well, that's a whole nother video in itself, but that's a very important thing. The Federal did that, Aguila, terrible. The Winchester Train and Defend, I was in one of the range videos, as you've seen, ran very good. I liked it. There was a little more snap to it, but it ran very smooth, and the recoil, even though it snapped a little bit more, the overall recoil impulse was minimal compared to even the 6 Hour Elite. So overall, with everything being said, all the review, my time shooting it, training with it, what are my thoughts? I think this is a great and beautiful first firearm for anyone to own. If you're looking for firearms, if you're getting into a semi-automatic, if you don't know really what to expect, what to get, maybe you're looking at Glocks, but the Glock pricing is a little bit high and steep for your budget, this is a great way to go. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is a clone of the Glock 19, which is their 9mm variant of a Glock and one of their more popular configurations for a Glock. Smith Wesson copied them so much so to where they actually got sued and I believe they have to pay royalties for every SD40 sold and SD 9mm sold, something like that. I'm not too familiar with the story, but I know that they did do a big rip-off of Glock, but in a good way. They got all the good things right to make this gun reliable and smooth shooting and a really nice firearm for a good value. So, you know, no shade there, even though Glock fanboys will probably be hating and just be like, oh, save money, get a Glock. So I think this is definitely a great first gun to start out with. And just like I mentioned, with all the different safety features, especially in California, if you live in California, a lot of safety features for that variant. It's a great gateway into getting into different types of handguns. This is once you get acquainted with this, you'll be able to get acclimated to most types of handguns that are out there. And then from there, once you get comfortable with a weapon like this, you can start branching out into different types of handguns like these and start seeing how these work and operate. And that's what I'm trying to do with getting these different types of handguns, is to show the differences of those types out there, and maybe you can find out what's for you, what's not. You can go out yourself and test out between these different handguns and see if you like a semi-automatic, you know, just kind of more standard version, or you like a hammer, you know, double action, single action, or you like a revolver better, or, you know, whatever. You know, so go out, see what's out there, see what you like, take it home, slap a name on it. It's your new pet and your new toy. But I think this is a really great and amazing handgun to start off with if you're getting into firearms or thinking about it, or you just want something to defend yourself and your home and your loved ones, and you want to just have that option, that peace of mind. I think this is definitely something worth picking up. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. It'll definitely be nice to go out to the range with it, get your training in, go test it out, get a feel for it. And if you can get past that trigger, this thing is really amazing. And also they have an aftermarket trigger kit that reduces the weight and increases basically the performance and the feel of the trigger. I heard a lot. So eventually I'm going to be getting that. I'll do a review on that eventually one day when I get that installed. So yeah, there's definitely options to help better the trigger even too. And all the more reason why I think this is a great first gun, because it's going to do its job, it's going to be reliable, it's going to stick through a lot of the hard times that you put through it, and the Great Depression you might put it through, and abuse. If you toss it around your nightstand and toss it around the yard or whatever the heck you do with it, or if you keep it oiled up and pristine and locked away, and either way it's going to be running fine when you pull it out and when you have to use it. And it's a great gun to use. I mean, $350, not too much to spend, especially if you got places around you that do layaway. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I'll take you out to the range one last time for some extra cool, extra special slow-mo shots. And then, yeah, we'll end it off there. And thank you guys for wasting and taking the time to check out my video, me being a nobody. Hopefully you learned something, you gained some type of interest or knowledge about firearms, or maybe piqued your interest about that particular firearm itself. Either way, if you learned anything, then it's a plus and it's a win-win for me. So I appreciate you guys for checking out the video, for checking out my channel, and hopefully you guys stick around, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll slowly, as money starts coming in, I'll start, you know, uploading more and more videos. I still got quite a few that I've got in the books and in store to make and release for you guys. So please stick with me, and I appreciate you guys, and stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.